The Dark and Drowning Tide by Allison Saft is a thrilling blend of fantasy, mystery, and romance, set in a richly imagined world where magic and folklore intertwine. The story centers on Lorelei Kaskel, a young folklorist who embarks on a dangerous expedition to find a legendary spring that holds the power to turn the tide of war in her kingdom. Commissioned by the king, this mission is critical to saving Brunnestaad, a nation on the brink of collapse. However, things take a deadly turn when Lorelei's mentor is murdered early in the journey, leaving the group stranded on a ship at sea, far from safety. Summary. The novel opens with Lorelei eager to prove her worth as a scholar on the expedition. Alongside her is Sylvia von Wolff, Lorelei's academic rival who is as brilliant as she is cold and distant. Tensions run high as the group sets sail, with each member having their own hidden motives. Soon after the expedition begins, Lorelei's mentor is found dead, and it becomes clear that the killer is among the group. The ship becomes a claustrophobic setting for the unraveling mystery, as paranoia mounts and everyone becomes a suspect. Despite initial animosity, Lorelei and Sylvia are forced to work together to solve the murder, all while navigating the perilous waters of their surroundings and the growing mistrust within the group. As they move deeper into their journey, magical creatures, treacherous landscapes, and the political stakes of their mission complicate their task. What sets this book apart is the slow-burn romance between Lorelei and Sylvia. Initially rivals, their relationship transforms as they begin to rely on each other in the face of danger. Their developing bond adds a personal layer to the larger story of survival and discovery, weaving in themes of trust and vulnerability. This romantic tension builds steadily throughout the novel, adding emotional depth without detracting from the broader narrative of mystery and adventure. Analysis. The murder mystery. At its core, A Dark and Drowning Tide is a murder mystery wrapped in a fantasy setting. The confined space of the ship and the mounting suspicion create an atmosphere of tension and distrust that permeates the entire narrative. The murder of Lorelei's mentor sets off a chain of events that tests the loyalty and morality of every character. Saft carefully crafts each character's arc, keeping the reader guessing as to who the murderer might be. This plotline pushes Lorelei into a leadership role, forcing her to take charge and make difficult decisions, all while grappling with her own insecurities. Character development and themes. Lorelei Kaskel is a relatable and multifaceted protagonist. Her journey is not just about solving a murder or finding a magical spring, it's about self-discovery and leadership. At the start, she is uncertain of her abilities, constantly living in the shadow of her more accomplished mentor. But as the story progresses, Lorelei grows into her role, learning to trust her instincts and navigate the complex relationships within the group. The relationship between Lorelei and Sylvia evolves beautifully throughout the novel. Initially marked by jealousy and rivalry, their interactions grow more nuanced as they are forced to rely on each other for survival. Saft uses their relationship to explore the theme of trust, how it is earned and how fragile it can be. Their slow-burn romance is well-paced and doesn't overshadow the larger narrative, but adds an emotional core that enriches the story. World-building and atmosphere. One of Saft's strengths lies in her ability to craft a world that feels both dangerous and magical. The setting of the novel, with its treacherous waters, ancient folklore, and supernatural creatures, adds layers to the already tense atmosphere. Saft seamlessly weaves the magical elements into the plot, using them to raise the stakes and create new obstacles for the characters. The blend of magic and reality keeps the reader immersed in the world, heightening the sense of danger and mystery. The expedition setting, especially the isolated nature of being at sea, amplifies the tension and serves as a metaphor for the characters' internal struggles. Each person on the journey has their own hidden motives, and the claustrophobic environment of the ship forces them to confront their darkest selves. The isolation also underscores the themes of survival and trust. Who can be trusted in a situation where everyone has something to hide? Themes of power and control. Another key theme in the novel is power. Who has it, who wants it, and what people are willing to do to keep it. The search for the magical spring is not just about survival, but also about gaining control over a resource that could shift the balance of power in a war-torn kingdom. As the group delves deeper into the mystery, it becomes clear that power is a corrupting force. The characters are forced to make difficult choices about loyalty, sacrifice, and ambition. Romance as subtext. While A Dark and Drowning Tide is primarily a fantasy adventure, the romance between Lorelei and Sylvia adds an intimate layer to the narrative. Their slow-building relationship is a study in contrasts, Lorelei's earnestness versus Sylvia's guarded sarcasm. Saft avoids turning their romance into a cliché, instead allowing it to develop naturally through their shared experiences. It adds emotional stakes to the plot without overshadowing the larger narrative of survival and discovery. Conclusion. The Dark and Drowning Tide is a richly crafted novel that blends fantasy, mystery, and romance in a seamless narrative. Allison Saft's ability to balance a murder mystery with character-driven storytelling creates a compelling and immersive reading experience. Lorelei's journey from an insecure scholar to a confident leader is engaging, and her evolving relationship with Sylvia adds emotional complexity to the already tense plot. The novel's exploration of trust, power, and survival resonates throughout the story, making it more than just a fantasy adventure. It's a tale about self-discovery, the consequences of ambition, and the fragile nature of relationships under pressure. Saft's world-building, combined with the personal stakes of the characters, makes The Dark and Drowning Tide a must-read for fans of atmospheric fantasy with a strong dose of mystery and romance.